Hello everybody, welcome back to another chess video. Today I have a special one. Once again, another video for the Checkmate playlist. Today's game I found it on the subreddit for chess beginners, which had the title, Guess the Elo of the two players. Let me tell you right now, this game was back and forth and hard fought, but eventually one side managed to prevail and win the game and take it from the snatch of defeat and draw. And let me tell you right now, this game might have killed me inside. Because let me tell you right now, that side that was winning threw it away and lost the game in embarrassing fashion, but had a chance to come back. It had a chance, but it did not take it. And this happens in chess. There's like lots of back and forth and comebacks, and like chess is infinite. Anything can happen. But you need to take advantage of the opportunities you see. And this is the point of today's video. I hope you enjoy today's game. I hope you have a laugh. I hope you don't cry. And I hope you don't have to go to the hospital for excessive laughter after you watch this video. There were comebacks, there were blunders, and this is what 700 ELO looks like. The game that you're about to see is also in the description if you want to see it on your own. And let's get to the video. Alright everybody, let's go to the game and let's have some fun. So, d4, knight c6. Okay, so against the knight c6, you have the option of chasing away the knight, or playing e4. e4 is, of course, the best choice. Sometimes you can play c4 if you want, but this might transpose to some Grunfeld stuff, but you're completely winning on move 2, if that ever happens. But c4 or the e4 are really good, but the white chooses knight f3. Okay, not the greatest move on the board, because who knows, maybe in the future you might play like f4 here, like this is, and go for a nice little 4 pawns attack. Who knows? We have knight f3 though, which is a move. I don't hate that move. This is just develops a knight, really good. F6. Now, I really hate this move because you're taking away the natural development square of the knight, you're weakening your king significantly, and you've already committed a really bad pawn in this situation, the f-pawn, because who knows, maybe white is going to play some tactics, like moving the knight and winning a rook. Somehow that can happen, but at the moment this is impossible, but it's plus 1.5 because of the move e4, which takes a lot of space away from the opponent. C4 can also be debatable to be played. It is actually a very good move. I know the engine doesn't like it as much, but I like it. However, we have bishop f4. Okay, not a bad move. You're developing your pieces. We have d6. All right, so I don't know what we're doing. This position looks like Swiss cheese. Like there's lots of light square weaknesses you might need to be aware of. But I digress. E3, okay, not playing it like, aggressive style, not playing aggressive style again. We play e3, which plays it on a London style, which tries to be solid. But now there is e5, and there are some problems. Now there is, you have the option to take, but then give, now with which pawn would you take it? I'll always take with the f pawn back, because to get the 2 pawns in the center, and get the open f file for attacks. That's the problem here. And if you retreat now, he's gonna take. And then if you take back like this, then there is problems. Like, well, not that move, but I mean, what black just develops normally, like straight up, like he just developed normally. But in this case, it is really bad. You have to play the move d5 here, which blocks the pawn from coming forward. But we have the move queen e7 check, and we have a very early queen trade, so that means no queens will be hang on this episode. Just kidding. They'll find a way to hang a queen or two. We have bishop g4 here, and castles takes. I wouldn't take that knight, but because the position is fairly open, but in this case you're winning a pawn and threatening a fork, which forces white to be a lot more passive. He gives this check, which is very correct. Now he moves. I would prefer it if you had to move your king literally anywhere, just go here. I guess this gambits a pawn, but then you'll just win the pawn back immediately. That didn't happen though. Unfortunate. We have king d8 though, so I don't know why that and not the gambit style with like this, and then you will win back the pawn like that, and you still threaten the forks, and they're gonna have to defend, and then you'll just play the end game normally. But instead of that, we have king d8, and bishop takes the pawn. Rook moves here, and what do you think would happen here? Sorry, my voice cut there. You didn't hear anything. The knight takes, because as you can probably see, that pawn has been hanging for like 3 or 4 moves, but it was unable to be taken. And it is taken, and the rooks have been forked, and also another pawn has been won. Okay, terrific. So this position is minus 2.3. Why is it minus 2.3? Because black is up a rook and a pawn for a knight. This is a really good trade. Um, However, black's king might have some problems getting into the game. Uh, Maybe he will have problems, and that the fact that black hasn't developed 3 pieces, so that's the reason why it's still like minus 11. So let's give black a couple of moves. Let's say this is played, and then you're gonna have to lose a piece. But let's say that move doesn't exist. Let's say you give black a couple of moves to consolidate, and of course he's not gonna play like this, but you give black a couple moves to consolidate, and you're already like minus 4. So that's the reason why it is minus 2 and not minus like 11. But we have rook takes b2, rook e1. Okay, very good move. Now pawn c5, really good move. But it gives away a lot of the advantage because of this move, which I cannot explain to you. It probably acts as a barrier between acts as a barrier, so pieces will have a little bit of a harder time to develop, and you can develop around this, but it's still like completely lost. And maybe because it's a move like this, and you'll try to win back the pawn, but you can defend it successfully, and then there will be like threats with this, and if you take this, actually you will get destroyed. So instead of all that, we have bishop f7, which I guess it just stops the king from going to e8 or e7, but literally, why would you do that? I have no clue. There's a rook there. This could also be like blocking a little bit of black's mobility. We have king d7. I don't know why you had to play this move now and not like later. 94 attacking the rook moves and takes a pawn, and it hangs the rook in one move, but it does not get spotted. And the knight just retreats, and the pawn just goes. And you may be wondering why it's minus 0.9 instead of like minus 2. It's because of either of these checks, and the king has to move, and then you will just sacrifice, and if they take, then you will take back, and you have won the pawn. But then black has to find a way to develop to move both pawns. The reason why it is you have to give away the pawn is because, let's say you do not, then they will go here, and you're absolutely mated, and you gotta sacrifice the rook, and then you're gonna have to bring this rook to the party, and then they have to retreat, and then you're just gonna simply lose the endgame. But we have h4, which gives away the advantage almost immediately. Knight here attacks the bishop, and instead we have danger levels on this thing. Now, what you can do is take, and after it takes, you have 3 pass pawns, and he has nothing. Just position might seem equal, but once you get your rook into the game and lock your king down and replace your pawns to the light squares, you are going to be winning the entire game. So that's the reason why you can sack in this position. But we have rook c3. Both pieces are hanging, but instead he chooses to save the knight and attack the rook again. We repeat moves, but no repeat moves. Bishop check, and knight is under attack. Another check, the knight is under attack again. Then you have to move your king. The rook goes here, and then now it is a draw. By repetition, you gotta go up, and then you gotta block away the king's escape squares, and then you will just repeatedly check your opponent. I know it says like +2 here because of king f1. Okay, so we're saying draw, but now it has changed its mind. Apparently the drawing mechanism was knight here, and after they give this check and you go up here, then, they just give repetitive checks, like they're just going to go back and forth. Okay, so the engine screwed me over here. I don't know why they did that. We have king c7 and knight b5 check, and after the king goes to b6, he is lost because the move knight a3 check. Apparently, this was way better, and I have zero clue why it was way better. Look how close it was. Point, point what? Point 30? Point, yeah, 0.30 plus. I don't know why it is way better. But knight a3 check does the same job. And knight takes c2, and bishop e7. And the game is just lost. It's +9 because of the move bishop here. And as you can probably see in a couple of moves, black will probably get mated because as you can see, you have to sacrifice a knight. Because you don't sacrifice a knight, it is mating 1. And it is really bad for black here. Knight a3 though. Okay, just does give away an advantage, but I don't know why you're not trying to mate black here. Rook check. Okay. Why has this why is this so bad? Because the king just runs, and okay, you're preparing some nasty things. Of course, black will not fall for the nasty things, and we have the winning of the rook. You know what's funny? He doesn't even take the bishop. He just goes to attack the knight and the bishop. But what you can do is play a desperado and then sacrifice the knight like this, and then you will just control the passed pawns and slowly win the game. But instead of that, we have after taking here king before bishop a6, the knight hangs. Rook e8. I don't know why we did not take the free pawn here. Just asking. Can you sacrifice? You can, but you're giving away a lot of advantage. We have rook e8 though, which I have no possible way of explaining. You can take a free things, but no, you decide to attack a bishop, which will probably get promptly defended. Oh, it doesn't get promptly defended. You just take it for free, absolutely. And the pawn goes. You stop it. It's fine. There's nothing. Oh my god. You had to go here, because if he promotes, you just sacrifice here. And after he takes, and you take, this position is completely winning, despite black having a passed pawn. You have two pieces, and those two pieces happen to be bishops, which are significantly better than knights in the situation, because what you're going to do is defend all the pawns like this. They will try to bring their king up. You will just go here, and this pawn will just die. It will just perish. And if they try to defend it like one last thing, then you will just kick away this knight, sack this pawn, go here, which is a check. That's the reason why you're able to play it. And then you'll go here and slowly win the endgame. And in case you sacrifice all of your pawns, you're just gonna go on to do the two bishops mate. I hope you know how to do it, in case you end up in a position like this. But instead of all that conundrum, we have king b2, and rook takes h7, which looks like a free pawn, but black promotes with check and makes a queen. Oh my. Now this is really really complicated here. King goes to h2. Now it has been furtherly complicated because of this is just a free piece. And now the position is a draw because there is a queen and 4 pawns versus 2 bishops, a rook, and 3 pawns. This is really complicated, and it's like close to equal. And I have no clue who is going to score the win here. So let's keep watching. We have f5. Not a bad move. Attacks a pawn. Bishop e5 check. You cover. That's a really good move. By demonstrated by the black side. Rook comes here. You go here. And after that, we have this check, and not saving the bishop here. I don't know why that move is really good. I guess you're preparing a bunch of checks. I don't know. But we have this check immediately, and then this, which doesn't have a single bit of difference. Pawn here, it's trying to promote. It is controlled, and a couple moves later, black is completely winning because of this move, and now white has nothing to do. You will just snatch this pawn away. And you need to be patient and play this move because, let's say that white keeps going back and forth. You will drop your king back, and if they try to play this, you can, of course, just take this, but then there's going to be a bunch of checks. So you can ignore that, actually, and attack the bishop right away. And if they do this, you will take, they will take, and you will make a new queen. But you can also just save the pawn and make the queen next move. So you make the first queen, they have to sacrifice, and then you make the next queen, and then you can just If you take this, then this very draw is, so you shouldn't take it, and then you just have to control the square, and if they try to like promote, you will just slowly bring your king up, attack this bishop, force it to go away. Top engine move is this, and then you're just gonna go here. They'll try to save their pawns, but it will just be, you cannot stop literally anything. You will just attack this bishop. It will have to move, and slowly and surely you will just win the pieces, and yeah, you'll just slowly win. It is really long. It's really long and nightmarish for my liking. But instead of all those ideas I told you, we have queening immediately, which, if you have been paying attention, the valuation bar dropped quite a lot. That is because you promoted a queen in a square that is controlled twice. You control that square twice as well. So you're saying, where's the problem? Where, look who's controlling the square. A queen, and a king. And who is attacking you? A bishop and a rook. And what's going to happen is they're going to take with the bishop, with check, and you need to sacrifice. And unfortunately, this endgame is lost. Why is this endgame lost? If you pay a lot of attention, the promotion square of the c3 pawn is dark squared. White has a dark squared bishop, which means he's going to control the pawn. And worst case scenario, let's say you just, sacrifice this pawn. No, first of all, let's say, you sacrifice this pawn. Now it is a draw, apparently, but, it's going to be really hard to secure a draw here. The reason why this is so bad is because, as you can see, both squares that the pawns can advance to are dark squares, and the bishop controls both squares. The bishop controls both the promotion square and this square, so nothing can literally come. And so after king g2, king here, the bishop moves a little bit, and the pawn tries to march. You will try, as you can see, there's a lot of advantage being given away, but then the engine reconsiders and sees this as a complete losing endgame. This is because I have no clue why this is happening. King tries to move up, but it is just inevitable. The black king gets blacked out. There's a queen, and then the bishop moves, and then a couple moves later, there is checkmate by a queen and a bishop. Really sad for the black side to get checkmated. Because if we go back to the entire game, black played a stupid opening. I wouldn't even recommend that for anybody. We had a queenless middle game. Some weird play by both sides, especially white, where he just, sacrificed all of his pieces. And a couple moves later, there was a bunch of hangs. Black was lost in almost the entire endgame, but managed to come back with the queen, but had to find a way to play against 3 pieces with the queen, and those 3 pieces were 2 bishops and a rook. And if you think about it, a bishop is half a rook, because you can see only diagonal squares of his same color. And there was a very large inaccuracy by black, and that caused them to lose the entire game, because he forgot that bishops that control the promotion squares will secure the victory for the side that have the bishops, and gets checkmated in the corner. What a game. If you want to watch the game for yourself and get more trauma, the game is on the description. You can watch it if you want. I'm going to have to go and recover now, because that game was trash and catastrophic and sad.